What's going on, everyone? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisted. Today we're going to be continuing our 5 Things series. Today we're talking about 5 television shows that you need to watch. Now, this is all personal opinion. If you don't like these shows, that's totally fine. If you love these shows, that's great as well. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments below what TV shows you guys love. Okay? Seriously, do that. So these, in my opinion, are TV shows you have to watch throughout your lifetime. You've got to watch them. Now, I'm not talking How I Met Your Mother. I mean, I'm kind of there, but I'm not quite there yet. Now, these TV shows, in my opinion, we're going to leave reality TV out because there's so many seasons of reality TV that, you know, it's probably not worth it at this point. Okay, so Keeping Up with the Kardashians, unfortunately, while you are a semi-scripted reality TV show, you can't make the list. I mean, seriously, who watches that? So, without further ado, let's get into some TV shows I love watching. Or at least, shows you need to watch, because they're great, they're amazing, you should watch it. The first one, we're going to start strong here with something that finished strong and was strong pretty much the 90% of the way through, was The Office. The US version of The Office. Now, I haven't seen the UK version of The Office, so I can't make any, assumptions on whether or not it's better or worse. But the US version of The Office, I feel, is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Fantastic casting, and just strong storylines and character development the whole way through. Just, it's flawless. And it's based on this idea of, it's such a meta show too. Because they're being filmed, but they know they're being filmed because it's for a documentary. Like, are we watching the guys filming the documentary, or are we watching the documentary itself? Because towards the end of it, it gets very meta, where they are watching themselves watch the documentary, but they're still being filmed by the documentary people. So are we watching the whole show? Anyway, it's a burning question that is going to be forever in my mind. But it's a fantastic show. It is a fantastic show. It's extremely funny. If you like anything that's funny, you should watch The Office. If you don't think The Office is funny, you probably need to see someone about that. But I would say it is probably very, very close to one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. Like, from start to finish, one of the best. And I've seen some shit through my time. I've seen Lost. I've seen How I Met Your Mother, which is a show that did not finish strong in my opinion. Yeah, you know, things like 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, these sitcoms, they're just not good. I mean, they're sitcoms, and while this is a comedy show filmed in a different way, it's so much better. The Office is so much better than probably any sitcom you can watch. Maybe Seinfeld is up there. But that'll be my next number on the list. Seinfeld! I mean, you seriously gotta watch Seinfeld. I mean, I got Kramer on the wall, but you seriously need to watch Seinfeld if you haven't already. They're just horrible people. They really are. They're horrible people that just do horrible things, and they get away with it, and it's hilarious. Like, it's just, if you haven't seen an episode of Seinfeld, they're, again, fantastic casting, fantastic characters. And while there is very little plot to the show, it just manages to create something week in, week out. Or at least episode after episode. I mean, it's finished now. But I think one of the best meta jokes about Seinfeld is when they are literally pitching the Seinfeld show in an episode to NBC, which is obviously the network it aired on in the US. And George's pitch is, it's a show about nothing. Because legitimately, it is a show about nothing. If you had to tell someone, what is Seinfeld about? It is about nothing. There is no one thing it's about. It is about everything. But essentially, there's no plot to it. There's nothing moving forward. It's about nothing. Anyway, it's a great show. You should watch it. Next, I'm sure a lot of people will have this on their list, and I'm not going to say this one's necessary to watch. Because while the previous two, they're great because they're funny and they can lift your mood up, I think this one, you've got to be in the right state of mind to watch. I mean, you don't have to be in the right state of mind, but you have to kind of like the type of show it is. And this is, of course, Game of Thrones. Now, while pretty much everyone in the world watches Game of Thrones, you know, it's the most watched show in the history of shows, Game of Thrones, so a lot of people watch it, but it's probably not necessary to watch. I've seen a lot of shitty dramas before in the past, so I've watched through Lost. Yeah. But Game of Thrones is good because it's based off these books, and I feel like probably the one thing Game of Thrones is struggling with, or what struggled with this season, and obviously that it might struggle with next season, is its pacing. Because the fact the books are sort of iffy as to what's going on with them, and the TV show is now differentiated from probably what the books are going to end up doing, is it's very fast. The previous seasons were a lot of talking, a lot of character, a lot of development, and a lot of pushing this narrative forward, you know, at a nice pace that allowed everything to sort of unfold at once. The problem this season with Game of Thrones was that it just felt a little rough. And the reason for that was there were less episodes. They wanted to do more action with the show. They wanted big action set pieces rather than, you know, moving the plot along by different characters at a time. And I think this is probably where the show struggled a little bit, was because while we do already know these characters a lot, there's still a lot of story in that's untold because we are missing, you know, 2 hours from previous seasons, 2.5 to 3 hours worth. So it's very slow. So while it is very slow, like, it needs to get its pacing. It really does. But yeah, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, it's actually a really good story. I would probably recommend reading the books rather than watching the TV show, even though I haven't read the books. Why not? Let's recommend something that I haven't done. That's the internet. The next one on the list, I'm gonna say, is... The next one on the list, again, is more on the comedy side of things, and it's a fantastic show. I think it's hilarious. Rick and Morty. Now, I know a lot of you guys will probably already watch Rick and Morty, which is great. It's a great show. 20-minute episodes. They're not gonna take you long to rush through. You can get it done over a weekend. Come on. We live in a day and age where people binge things all the time. So you can get it done in a weekend. Rick and Morty is a fantastic show. It's an animated show. And while I was tossing up between this and The Simpsons, I feel like The Simpsons certainly had its run and has now dropped off, and I hope Rick and Morty never drops off. But I mean, you've got to get Swifty in here. Anyway, Rick and Morty, incredibly funny show. I think the good thing about animation is that it can take you to places that you don't necessarily see in live action. Like a lot of space and stuff, you know, it's a lot of CGI, a lot of hard effects that need to get done. Whereas in animation, it's very simple. It's just you just draw a different area. And I think that's what Rick and Morty does really well, is they weave this intergalactic storyline in really well with what they're trying to tell. It's a great show. You should watch it. I recommend. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. All right, I've got one more show to add to this list. It's another drama / action television show. It's actually probably more thriller than anything, to be fair. And it is Teen Wolf. Now, if you're probably thinking Teen Wolf, the Michael J. Fox movie, you got it very wrong. No, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's not like a funny movie. I mean, while there are like some funny aspects about it, that's like every drama, you know, there's always like 1 or 2 jokes along the way, but majority of it is pretty dramatical and action and thriller. And sometimes it can be over the top, but I feel like it's a pretty good show anyway, and you should definitely watch it if you're into like drama. I think it's on Australian Netflix as well, the first 5 seasons, and season 6 is out, and I'm pretty sure season 6 is not on Netflix yet, but it's still going, which is the last season. But like the first half, it's aired anyway. It's a great, like, it's a really good action thriller show, and I'm normally not good with like horror or shows that have any kind of suspense about them, but Teen Wolf is one that I get excited about to watch. And I feel like it's very similar to The Walking Dead in that aspect for me anyway, whereas The Walking Dead, you know, I'm not good with suspense and drama and things that could potentially spook me, but I think The Walking Dead as well does it really well, where you want that moment of suspense because it does really good for the characters. So I think Teen Wolf's really good in that, you know, in the way it does that. And it's one of the shows that you should watch on this list because it's one of the shows I love. Anyway, let me know what you guys like in the comments down below. Leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. If there are any TV shows you would recommend me to watch, link them as well, or, you know, write them in the comments. But these are just 5 I think that are really good, and I've tried to cover, you know, the best like comedy sitcom or whatever, a couple of the best drama ones, and probably the best animated show I've seen for a long time. So thank you guys for watching. Give a big thumbs up. Goodbye. I'm still in frame.